Hey everyone, this is Ember back with Here's the Beef. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about why feedlot raised cattle are much better than pasture raised. By definition, pasture-raised cows are grown and tended in ranches, where owners regularly monitor the cattle, their weight gain, and their health. Feedlot raised, on the other hand, are cows who used to walk on wide-open verdant spaces, but were led to a confined animal feeding operation, or a CAFO. While many are against feedlot-fed cattle, it is the most effective way of growing and providing beef for the world at a rate that it meets demands. Often, people are misled by those who are uneducated on the facts behind the care and efficiency of feedlot-raised beef. This is a topic that has been debated for years. Which is better? Let's look at the facts behind why feedlots are the best option for the beef industry. Cattle ranchers have been raising their beef on pasture and rangeland since the beginning of time. Before farmers had bales of hay to feed, pasture and rangeland was all they knew. We as humans are always searching for the next best thing. The innovation of the cattle industry happened because we found a better way to provide beef for the world, and that solution is feedlots. In the 1800s, grain farmers were looking for a market for excess grains and the ability to provide year-round employment for farm workers. Farmers began feeding grains to livestock and soon realized the increased value of grain-finished beef. Thus, everyone started importing their cattle to feedlots. Besides the fact that feedlots are the most economical way to raise a large number of cattle for beef production, Americans seem to prefer the richer, sweeter taste that comes with corn-fed beef. This is a big part of the reason why major steak brands and restaurants continue to draw attention to the fact that they serve corn-fed steaks. Because of their higher levels of marbling, grain-fed steaks tend to be richer in both taste and texture. Marbling is generally considered the most prized feature of a high-quality steak, and the most important factor in the USDA steak grading. It is much less prominent in pasture-fed cattle. As a person who appreciates the quality of a good steak, I've also stepped into the cooler with beef carcasses in many meats judging contests across the state. When compared side by side, it's easy to see that the corn-fed steer has way more marbling than the grass-fed steer. The marbling is those little white specks that you see in the actual lean of the beef. When you look on the grass-fed side, you can see that there's little to no marbling at all. And in USDA grading, the marbling is what grades it higher and which provides a high quality, better tasting steak. Those marbling specks are specks of fat, which melt into the steak when it is cooked, providing a juicier, better tasting, more appetizing steak. Many people who argue against feedlot-raised cattle are arguing that cattle should never be raised on corn or grain. Although this feedlot diet is economically beneficial, it causes severe health problems in the cattle, are some things that they might say. They might also say that the digestive system of a steer is not meant to digest corn and other grains. Thus, digestive problems arise that can be detrimental to the steer's health. Cattle are not meant to eat corn and be raised on grains. What many people don't realize is that custom feedlots work closely with nutritionists and veterinarians to ensure consistency of feed and health in the cattle. The cattle are monitored closely because the feedlot operator is allowed only a certain % death rate when custom feeding. If the operator goes over that allowable death rate, they have to pay for each individual calf that is lost. This means that they are losing profit, which a feedlot operator wants to avoid at all costs. Albert's Feedlot says, nutrition is key for performance, and that is why our feedlot has a consulting nutritionist who works closely with our feed mill manager to provide the best knowledge on feed rations and ingredients. Our modern computerized mill and bunk reading system provides our customers with accurate and complete records. Sampling is done on our feedlot ingredients and rations to ensure we are being consistent. Tim Rounds is a specialty beef program manager at Five Rivers Feedlot, one of the largest and most well-known feedlots in the entire world. Let's see what she has to say about the welfare of the cattle that are imported into their feedlot.
Our number one concern is the care and the health and the comfort of these animals, and people are often pleasantly surprised by the quality of care that they get here, how comfortable they are, how quiet they are, how quietly they're handled. We do this because we're passionate and because we care about cattle and we care about making an outstanding product.
The feeder is very well trained on a feedlot. They must demonstrate high-level skills in operating not only the feed truck but also the loader. The feeder has to be able to scoop and add ingredients with precision. Carelessness and mistakes can cause cattle to die due to bloat. Feedlot-raised beef is clearly the way to go. The efficiency, taste, and care quality of the cattle beats any opposing method of raising market cattle. Feedlots are tailored to ensure the growth, care, and outcome of the cattle after processing. The cattle must be in pristine condition before being sent to the butcher, which is why feedlots work closely with nutritionists and veterinarians. The next time you are at the store, compare your grass-fed versus your corn-fed beef. You will quickly see that your corn-fed, feedlot-raised beef is the best option for your plate. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Here's the Beef. Make sure to check out my next video posted next week.